What's he lacking? That's the question fans have been asking since the Ballon d'Or awards. Because nobody understands what else Salah is supposed to do to win it. He won the league, scored goals and got assists, broke records, and made history in the English Premier League. And yet he's never won the Ballon d'Or or even come close. So, is the criteria the Champions League? Well, when he won it, why didn't he get the Ballon d'Or then? Is it individual performance? Dude, he had the best stats in the world last season. All these questions have been driving people nuts, and no one can find an answer. And now, I'm going to hit you with the harsh truth. Mohamed Salah will never win the Ballon d'Or, or even come in second. Before you start yelling and getting all worked up, let me tell you the secret behind what I'm saying. It's a secret that's kind of an open secret. So, let's dive in. Back in the day, during Salah's peak under Jurgen Klopp, and I'm talking about the Klopp era, there was a simple problem standing in his way of the award: Sadio Mane and Klopp himself. This story needs your full attention for a minute. See, when Liverpool won a championship, like the Premier League or the Champions League, the credit was split three ways: Salah, Mane, and Klopp. Salah is the goal-scoring winger who's racking up goals and solving the team's striker problem, right? Right. Sadio Mane is his partner in attack, putting in a ton of work defensively and offensively, and scoring goals close to Salah's numbers. Got it? Got it. Then there's the third part, Jurgen Klopp, the good guy who doesn't spend as much as a coach like Guardiola and can develop unknown players into world-class talent. He's also responsible for Salah and Mane's success. On top of all that, he wins titles with a team that has less financial power than many other European teams. All the glory goes to the underdogs, my friend. So all this means Salah wasn't seen as the hero of the story. Not at all. He was just a part of it, nothing more. In fact, some people thought Mane was better than Salah, and that Salah was just benefiting from his talents. They figured if Sadio left, Salah would struggle and Liverpool would fall apart. Then Sadio Mane did leave and went to Bayern, and now his career has fizzled out in Saudi Arabia. But Salah is still at the top, with Liverpool winning the league title, the Golden Boot, and Player of the Year, plus he's the top playmaker in the league. Meanwhile, the other guys who were competing for the Ballon d'Or were being hyped up as the heroes of their teams. Heck, even when Virgil van Dijk was nominated while playing for the same team, he was getting all the credit for the defense, even though he had Alisson, Arnold, and Robertson next to him. Salah was part of the success from the fans' perspective, not the whole thing. Liverpool's bad luck played a huge role in the story too. When they'd win the Champions League, they'd lose the league by a single point. When they'd win the league, they'd lose the Champions League over some BS call. They never won the treble, for example, or the league and the Champions League together, which would have seriously boosted his chances for the top spot. For example, if Salah had won the Champions League the year before, when he had the best goal contribution record of his career and took the 20th league title, would you have had any doubt that he'd win the award? Do you know Paris was the hardest challenge to Liverpool's journey? Yet, they lost in penalty kicks. I'm telling you, Liverpool's bad luck was a factor, man. And then there's the national team's curse. They lose the African Cup of Nations final twice, they try out a bunch of coaches, and they lose in the World Cup qualifiers for Qatar. It's a real heartbreaker. The nationality, well, let's get into this little conspiracy theory for a minute. I'm not just saying it because he's Egyptian, but more that he's Egyptian, Arab, and African. You can pretty much forget about it. The last African player to win the Ballon d'Or was George Weah. And there's a long story about how he even won it in the first place. It was more of a political move than anything else. Since then, we've had legends like Drogba and Eto'o, who didn't even get a sniff, even though a guy like Eto'o won the treble twice and was a key player in both. And you can say the same for other African players. Meanwhile, European players don't have to do much to be nominated. And by the way, if this weren't Messi, and you know what Messi is, you'd realize on your own that Latin players are treated like second-class citizens. Think about where Latin players end up in the rankings, even when they're tearing it up. Compare that to where some average European players rank. Come on, Rafinha was 5th? Good morning. Real Madrid and Barcelona. You can't deny that a huge part of this award is media hype, right? Let me ask you this. What did Mbappé win last season to be considered one of the top 10 players? Nothing. But he scored a bunch of goals with Real Madrid, so he has to be on the list. Real Madrid will be upset. It's embarrassing for them otherwise. This is what I'm saying. If you're playing for Real Madrid or Barcelona, every goal you score is going to be massively hyped, even if it doesn't really mean anything. I bet Salah has more goals and assists than Mbappe, Rafinha, Dembele, and Yamal. But no one remembers those stats in the European media. They just talk about how many goals these other guys scored. Nobody mentions Salah's numbers. I'm telling you, if Salah scores 60 goals and Yamal scores 30 and Mbappe scores 40, and all three don't win a single title, you'll still see Mbappe and Yamal ranked ahead of Salah in the individual awards. Why? Because it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. Popularity, fan base, all that stuff plays a huge role in this award. It's over. Salah is 33 now. So even if he achieves something big in terms of stats and trophies by the end of this season, there's a World Cup in America. And the battle for the trophy will be between Spain, France, and maybe Brazil. You and I know that whoever wins the World Cup is going to win the award. So, no Ballon d'Or this year either. The year after that, Salah will be 34. It will be his last season with Liverpool, and everyone knows he's not renewing his contract. He'll go to the US or Saudi Arabia on a fat contract to finish out his career. And then the fight will be between Mbappe and Yamal again. So on paper, Salah will never win the Ballon d'Or. But honestly, you don't need the Ballon d'Or to be a legend, whether it's for your team, your country, or in soccer in general. Maldini didn't win it, neither did Buffon, Thierry Henry, Iniesta, Xavi, Totti, or Del Piero. Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes never saw it. You can go on and find legends who never even smelled this award. But they're still legends in their countries, their national teams, and in soccer history. It's never been the ultimate measure of greatness, but rather a recognition of your hard work. And if the media can't appreciate you, there are fans who will never forget you. So, if Salah doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, he's still worth more than gold to the Arab world. And that's it, my friend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you can get all the latest videos. Peace out.